My 30th sister, 24th, is going to marry her abusive fiancé, 24, in a week, and I can't help but feel like it's partly my fault. I got married when I was 21, and I have tolerated and justified things I never should. My sister has always thought the way my husband treated me was incredibly romantic, and that he was the gold standard for how a man should treat his wife. When things started getting bad between us, I was so heavily in denial that I covered things and lied to my family. Even though I knew that certain things he did / say weren't okay, I would let my sister romanticize them, so I didn't have to face the reality. Eventually, I reached a breaking point and left him. I was pregnant at the time, so my sister saw it as the ultimate act of betrayal. I remember she had some very nasty things to say to me, including calling me a lying ungrateful. We've moved past it, but even still, if I say something even mildly negative about my husband, she gets incredibly angry at me and defensive. Honestly, she acts more like he's her family than I am at the time. My sister got engaged 5 months ago. They've been together for over 2 years, but I only found out about him 5 months ago. I immediately disliked him, but it only got worse when my sister was telling me about their relationship. And she described a lot of abuse, but she made it seem romantic or like she deserved it, and he was doing those things to make their relationship stronger. Any time I try to tell her that these things are wrong, and a partner should never treat you that way, she throws it back in my face. She'll say something like, "So it's okay for you, but not okay for me. Stop acting jealous. What would your husband think? At least I'm not the one who married someone after knowing them barely a year, and I don't need advice from someone who had to run to mummy and daddy because he wasn't getting enough attention." I honestly don't know what to say or do to get through to her. I feel like I'm partly to blame and that she's trying to model her relationship on mine / my husband based on things she'd say to me, but even though my husband treated me badly at times, he wasn't ever even half as bad as the things she's described to me. They're getting married in a week, and I'm terrified for her. I need advice on what to do to get through to her. Too long. Don't read my sister. My husband is the gold standard for how a partner should treat their wife. However, there was a time where he wasn't treating me well, and I let her romanticize it because I was in denial and didn't want to face reality. Now she's going to marry her extremely abusive fiancé in a week, and no matter how much I talk to her, she thinks the way he treats her is normal. I feel like I'm partly to blame, and I want to help her before she makes a huge mistake. I feel like I have a semi-unique perspective to offer. I grew up in a family where I always had to be the one who was okay. My younger siblings had big feelings, as younger kids do, and my mum had a lot of unprocessed trauma. The trauma leaked all over us quite suddenly, and there was no real way of knowing what reaction would come to things we said or how we acted. I spent most of my childhood trying to help her and my siblings self-regulate. The attachment style that comes from that is called disorganized. It means that when I attach to people, I often attach anxiously because I'm terrified that I don't know where I stand with them / they will leave or disappear. Or I don't know where I stand, and I avoid deepening the connection because it feels risky. This attachment style often leads to tumultuous or abusive relationships. Both of my siblings are the same. Your sister did not learn this from you. You may have influenced her in some ways, but you did not create this. Go to therapy yourself. Let her make her mistakes. Follow the advice above about letting her know you are there for her, non-judgmental. Whenever she needs. People are not projects. You can't fix them. They have to solve their own problems to learn to believe in and love themselves / see their own value. There's not much you can do to her own bad choices. I think you need to stay open with her. Tell her you know her relationship is abusive, but that no matter what happens, you'll be there for her. Absolutely make sure she knows you won't judge her or be upset if she ever needs help getting out of the relationship. She described a lot of abuse, but she made it seem romantic or like she deserved it, and he was doing those things to make their relationship stronger. Any time I try to tell her that these things are wrong, and a partner should never treat you that way, She throws it back in my face. Have you ever said any of this to her? When things started getting bad between us, I was so heavily in denial that I covered things and lied to my family. Even though I knew that certain things he did/said weren't okay, I would let my sister romanticize them, so I didn't have to face the reality.